This is the Singer single thread embroidery attachment number 26538. And I wanted to show you how to thread it and install this attachment. There's lots of videos on YouTube showing how this works, but very few to none that show you some detailed threading and installing it on your machine. So I thought I'd go ahead and make a video showing you how to do that. Threading could be a bit complicated, and it's got to be done right or it won't work properly. And it's really a fun attachment to watch working. That little looper arm coming down, it creates a little loop of embroidery thread that's sewn down into this long chain of loops. And they typically come with a single page of instructions, and they tell you what model of machines this works on. And I sized up the image of how to thread this and kind of detailed it because it's not real clear in the instructions. And here I show you exactly how to thread it. Come down from the top, go towards the back, do that first eye, do the second little pigtail type eye, and a third eye that is associated with the tension spring. I'll make sure it goes in that direction and down in between that tension spring and the eye. And towards the front, there's another little eye down towards the foot. And here you want to go through that little looper. You go through the back hole first, from right to left, and then from left to right through the front hole of that little looper arm. And you've got it threaded. Putting it on the machine, you're going to have to take the foot that's on there off, and you need to take the thumb screw completely out. And you'll also want to remove your needle because it'll be in the way. It's kind of a cumbersome attachment to get installed. So you want to get your needle out of there so you don't bend it or break it. And then remove your foot. And here's where you're going to put it on, right through that little hole there, attach it to your bar. There's that little indentation. You want to line that up with the presser bar. And this fork driver arm you have to have up on the needle clamp bar area. Right up in there where you have your needle clamp screw. You want to make sure that if you've got that thread cutter up there might be in the way on some machines, so you can slide it up out of the way or take it off, whatever you want to do there. And you've got to kind of wiggle and get this thing on there, and you want to make sure it seats right down up against that flat side of that presser foot bar, and then put your thumb screw in. You want to make sure it's on there real well because there's a lot of moving parts and it's kind of a heavy attachment. Make sure your fork is up on the needle clamp bar, nice and snug. Make sure it's in there real tight so it doesn't start wiggling. You'll break needles and possibly break the attachment. Once it's on there real well, you can go ahead and thread it up with your embroidery thread. Here I was experimenting with just a couple of standard thread size threads I put together, and it actually worked pretty well. Get it all threaded up. Now before you start, you put it in there. It's pretty standard. You want to make sure you're going to have 3 different threads coming down there. You've got your upper thread, your bobbin thread, and your embroidery thread. So you'll want to get them all under that foot to start. You do typically with sewing with any of your threads. Ready to go, and start out nice and slow and easy. Make sure everything's working properly. I found that the stitch links that work best for a a nice dense loop is from like 12 to 10 stitches per inch is pretty good. Here I'm trying out a couple other different colored threads. That looping on the left side there in the green and blue was with a long stitch, and it doesn't look quite as nice as a denser stitch does with a 12 to 10 stitches per inch. And see how that little looper flips. It's a loop, comes down, sews it down, flips, makes a loop, comes down and sews it down, pulls down that loop to the fabric. Pretty neat, a little attachment, lots of fun. Go and watch some of the other videos that are online. There's some real good ones, and you'll see a little more about what you can do with this. Basically, there you have it, a little line of loops. Hope this was helpful.